going on YouTube? It is Trev. I'm looking at myself in the picture here, and I'm looking at this beard. The only reason I'm growing this is because my fiance told me that she likes the facial hair and she wants to see what I look like with a beard. But I always get to this point right here, and then I'm like, nah, I don't like it, and it comes off. So this time I was really curious as to see. All right, I'm like, all right, for the first time in my life, I'm gonna have a beard. I'm gonna see what that looks like. I already hate it. This is why I don't do it all the time. It makes me look old. I look like a homeless person. I don't know how to keep it neat, right? And I'm convinced, actually, that I don't know how to say this without maybe offending somebody, but men age slower than women. And my fiance is gorgeous, right? If you've ever seen a picture of her or seen her in any of my videos, she's very attractive. When I met her, she was in her 30s, and honestly, I thought maybe she was like in her late 20s, and I was thinking, this woman's probably a little too young for me, right? Fortunately, she wasn't, but there is still like an 8-year difference, right? But, 10 years later, and she's getting a line here or there, right? Where she didn't look anything like her age 10 years ago. It's getting a little closer, right? And I love it, right? I love, that we're just, we're going through this aging thing together. But without this, I look considerably younger than what my age is, right? And I think maybe that bothers her, that she's looking in the mirror and she's seeing some aging going on, but she's not seeing a lot of change in me in the last 10 years. So I think this is her way of making me look older. That's what I think. I think she's trying to make me unattractive so somebody doesn't steal me. Anyway, this is not what we're here to talk about. But this is probably coming off, for sure. Anyway, no, what I want to talk to you about is, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you like this. What I want to talk about is Terra Rebels, right? And they made a. Let me bring you to it. Hold on. Let me find this. They put out an announcement yesterday. Clan did, and this came out somewhere around noon my time, right? Eastern time. It says, we have something great to share with you. Nebulo team has been preparing some exciting news for you guys. Their team is developing a new mobile wallet for Nebulo with a staking option. Their mobile wallet is planned to support staking of NEBL, as well as cross-staking campaigns such as staking NEBL to earn LUNC, staking LUNC to earn NEBL. We've shared some sneak peeks of the wallet for you guys below. Let us know what you think. Well, I'm going to let you know what I think. And, the normal disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But even more than that, these are my opinions. My take on it, right? I'm always open to having my perspective changed by maybe, someone else giving me a different perspective, or maybe bringing out some things that I hadn't thought of or wasn't aware of, right? So that being said, I think this is a kick in the teeth to every validator that we currently have on chain. That's how I feel about it, right? That's what I think. We have staking already. We fought for it. Matter of fact, you guys fought to get it for us, right? You put in the work. And we have a lot of validators, a lot of smaller validators who are really well-intentioned, really a bunch of good people who really want to help and do what they can for this chain. But they don't have as many delegators as they would like, or as they really should need. We have an extreme unbalance in the voting power, where we would like to bring some of those smaller validators up, and maybe some of the larger ones, maybe down a little bit, and sort of even off the playing field a little bit. That would make the chain stronger. I don't see how Nebulo offering staking over there, right, helps this chain or our validators at all. In fact, like I said, I think it's like a kick in the teeth to them, right? That Terra Rebels would even promote this is it feels immoral to me. It feels like one bad decision after another. Read the room, guys. You gotta read the room. And they're not reading the room because what I'm hearing often is that, if you have anything to say negatively, you have any criticism or whatever, what they're doing is they're just kicking you out of the Discord or they're blocking you on Twitter or whatever. I haven't been blocked yet. I haven't been kicked out yet. Maybe after this video. I don't know, right? But, if you put yourself in this cocoon of positivity, then you can begin to think that the things that you're doing are okay. And you can justify what you're doing because all you're getting is the echo chamber of people who do support you and think that what you're doing is right. But there is such a large part of the community, as I'm seeing out there on Twitter and such, right, who does not think this was a good idea. And if you block yourself from them and you don't hear that, then how are you ever going to go in the right direction? Now, maybe the right direction for Terra Rebels is their own direction. Maybe they're back to that point that they were at when they first accepted this Nebulo deal. And I know that, supposedly this wasn't all the Terra Rebels. They've even tried to downplay it or whatever. But I have DMs from Terra Rebels that said, we are, and I think they even put it in the Discord, right? We are a private organization. We do not work for the community. All that stuff was spurred by all of the backlash that they got from accepting this Nebulo deal. Now, I've never looked into Nebulo. I honestly don't know much about them at all, right? I've never done any DD on them because so many people did it that it was like, all right, well, what am I going to add? It is what it is, right? But a lot of people really gave them hell for that deal. And, that made them kind of withdraw from the community because I can only say that they must have really thin skin. You've got to be able to listen to all sides and you have to take the constructive criticism, even sometimes when it may not be so constructive. You've got to hear it and understand what the sentiment is, what the actions that you take actually do to the sentiment of the community, the morale, right? But they've been closing that off. So I also find it ironic that they said, well, you know what? We don't want any funding from the community because if we take funding from the community, that makes us beholden to the community, and we don't want that. We want to be able to do our own thing. Again, private organization, right? Yet you put out an announcement like this and a tweet on Twitter about it, right? Marketing something that most people do not feel is for the chain at all. This does nothing. How is this not Terra Rebels being beholden to Daddy Nebulo, right? The organization that is funding them. How is that not the case? When did that mentality change, right? Did it change after you lost your front men? Seems like it, right? Seems like it. What I mean by front men, I'm going to tell you, right, that it's hard to really put it into words, right? But Terra Rebels they're clinging, I don't know what they're clinging on to. They seem to be clinging on to some sort of hope that they can actually rebrand and revive. It's almost like it's almost like what they've decided to do is just make believe that nothing in the past that just happened, right, that totally turned the community against them. It's almost like they're choosing to believe that never happened and just marching forward like it never happened. Well, it happened. And there's a crap ton of people out here who are never going to let you forget it, right? So what I mean by front men, and I've made this analogy before, you had Ed, you had Zaradar. These were your front men. These were, and again, one of my favorite bands, Earth, Wind, and Fire, they were the two iconic front men, right? Maurice White and Philip Bailey. and their voices, like I said, iconic. When you thought of Earth, Wind, and Fire, you didn't think of the 16 people behind them, maybe the bass player, because he was a little extravagant, right? But you didn't think of all those people back there. You thought of these two guys up front with their unbelievable voices. When they left, that was it, right? Earth, Wind, and Fire still did, and I think still does concerts, but they're just not Earth, Wind, and Fire anymore without those two. They don't pull in the crowds. Any new music that's come out has done absolutely nothing. They needed those guys, right? You can look back at, if you weren't a R&B fan, you might have been a rock and roll fan, right? What about Van Halen? Eddie Van Halen, considered one of the best guitarists ever, right? But even with that, they knew that they needed a frontman. They needed the guy out front. And they had David Lee Roth, who was very flashy, right? Great voice. I mean, he was the consummate frontman all over the damn stage. He had everyone's attention. And when you thought of Van Halen, you thought of David Lee Roth. Well, David Lee Roth decided that he wanted to leave, whatever differences they were having, right? And so you've got this great guitarist in this great band, but they couldn't make anything happen by themselves. They had to go out and get a Sammy Hagar, who had already established himself as one of the greatest singers in rock and roll of all time, right? Had an unbelievable following. That's what they had to do. And then they rebranded, became kind of a different style band, but were very, very successful. I can point out these, I can go this route all day, right? With bands who have a front person. That front person leaves, the band is done, right? It's kind of what happened here. You lost your front man. Your band is done. So I see two options, personally. Find another frontman, a superstar, right? You need a Strathcole. The problem is you'll never get Strathcole. And I can't think of anyone else in this community who has made a name for themselves as a lead, L1 developer, has the community's affection and appreciation and trust. I can't think of anybody else. I don't know if there's anybody else out there, right? But that's what you would need, because then people could say, well, if he's getting involved, we're going to give it a chance because we trust him. That's what it was with Ed and Zaradar. Don't be in denial about it. That's what it was with them. Terra Rebels was still Terra Rebels, even after the Nebulo thing, even after some other controversies, because, well, Ed's still there and Zaradar's still there. Then Ed left and it was like, oof, all right, well, Z's still there, right? That was the only thing that saved you. How could you not see that? As soon as he left, all hell broke loose for Terra Rebels. And they're floundering right now. So that was option one. Option two, call it a day. Call it a day. Dissolve the organization and go your separate ways. Don't stay together and try to rebrand or form something else, because no matter where you go, what you do, it's going to follow you if you stay together with this team. You all need to go your separate ways and go work quietly for someone else. Build your reputation back up. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But this I hate to see. I don't like seeing this at all. This is not good for the community. It's not good for our validators. It is, honest to God, a kick in the teeth. And you guys, you got to make some decisions. You got to stop with the denial and thinking that you're going to save this thing just by the core members who are still left. We're enough. We did this work. We know that you did unbelievable work. We know that you did. And I tried to push all of you to be the front man, to not hide in the background, to make yourself known, because by doing that, you endear yourself to the community. But nobody wanted to do it, and here you are now with no front man, maybe a decent band, right? But no front man. So you're not going to get anywhere, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, that's how I feel about it. If you feel differently, you know, if there's something that I missed, if I had something wrong, leave a comment in the comment section. Let's chat about it. That's what we do, right? If you agree with me, if I had it spot on, let me know that too. I like hearing those, right? Anyway, yeah, and if you forgot to earlier, please hit the like button. I usually find that like maybe 10% of the people who watch the videos actually remember to hit the like button. And I don't think it's that they don't like the video. I think that it's just not something you remember to do. It's just easy to click off right now, right? But before you click off, just, you know, X out the little description thing or whatever. Go to where you can like hit the little thumbs up button for me. That helps a lot more people to see the video. It works on the algorithm, whatever, right? If you're not subscribed to the channel by now, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the all notification bell so you are alerted when I put out these little updates and opinions and rants and whatever else you get. All right, I don't know. We'll talk about some other stuff later. Ciao.